How about you?
Good.
Go back and look at the tape, the way you guys run block that. How would you rate that?
You know, we played pretty good up front. There's still some things we need to fix and clean up this week. So,
Like what?
I mean, we've missed blocks. There's big runs that we left out of there on the field, and we just have to come up and clean it up and pick up defensive keys and things like that.
Well, we know you're good at keeping an even keel. Just kind of always seem the same in here, but every week there's a hyped game in the SEC. With you guys being in the situation you are, and a lot of these good teams in the SEC, how big a challenge is that to keep some of these guys from not getting caught up?
I mean, it's one game at a time. It's last week we had Tennessee. Now we're moving on to Texas A&M. And it's just one game at a time, take it step by step, and just keep rolling.
Does it make you appreciate kind of how deep and good the SEC is, though?
Yes, sir, it does, for sure.
Did you guys put an extra emphasis on the run game last week in practice?
I mean, we do that every week. We as offensive linemen, you always want to run the ball very good, very effectively, and it paid off this past week.
How have you seen Bo kind of progress? He obviously had a really good 85-yard run, but just kind of versus the whole showing quickness maybe he didn't show earlier in the year.
Bo, he's been running hard the whole season, and he got the seams that he needed to make some long runs. So, very proud of him for that.
Was that big on his confidence? Did it kind
of? Yeah, I assume so. I mean, if I say 80-yard run, I'd be pretty confident then.
Could you break an 85-yard run?
I'd have a lot of blocking.
They had a really disruptive defensive end last week. Now you've got two this week. What kind of challenges does Texas A&M present?
They're a very good defense, typical SEC defense, big, fast, strong, and we'll have to prepare for them and get ready for Saturday.
And guys like you guys have coming off the edges, they kind of present a similar look to you that you guys see in practice.
What you said?
Does your defense kind of remind you of their defense, the way you guys have guys coming off the edge?
Oh, definitely. We have very good defense, and they represent Texas A&M's defense pretty good. So, and our scout team does a really good job of showing a good look. So,
after it's kind of such a big win, does it take any more effort or any more focus to kind of keep guys from getting too big ahead after a game?
Like I said, it's one game at a time. You can't look back. You just got to look forward and push on through that week. So.
Right. When you look at the offensive line, it's the one group, the one unit that everyone has to kind of gel together and play as one, even though it's 5 different guys. How is that coming, even with the fact that you had to have Lester in last week?
Like I've said before, anybody that goes out there on the field with me, I know I'm confident in their play and that they're going to do what they have to do beside me. So, I'm really confident in our core that we have in there, and really blessed to have them beside me.
How did Lester play last week?
I believe Lester played very well.
We've talked about Jalen's poise, pretty much all year, but when he makes a mistake or has a fumble, not always his fault necessarily, but what do you see from him when he comes back? A lot of times his play elevates after a mistake like that.
Like I said, we talked about all season. Jalen's very mature for a freshman, and he's everything that's been thrown at him, he just comes right back and like you said, elevates his play. So.
Are you all surprised when that happens, though? I mean, even the first play of his career, he has a fumble, and then he comes back. And
that's just the competitor, and you try to come back and make up for that mistake. So.
How much growth has he shown from the first week?
I mean, he's gotten he's been very vocal, and he's definitely a leader on our team, and he keeps pushing every day, just like everybody else does on our team.
Bradley, I know we're looking ahead now, but you did have that 24-hour period where you could maybe enjoy the Tennessee game. Did you look at that and say, man, I didn't expect that, or did you look at it and say, that's about the way I thought it'd go?
I mean, you want to put up, as the offense, you want to put up as many points as you can, and your defense to play as good as they can. And it was the ball just fell our way this week, and we got the job done. So.
When did you get really comfortable with making the calls and checks at the line?
I mean, I've always been pretty comfortable ever since I've got my the playing time at Ole Miss, my redshirt freshman year. That was a little uncomfortable then, but. But yeah, I've been ever since then. I've been pretty confident in my play. So.
The reason I ask is because obviously A&M with the ends. I mean, how important is it going to be to relay the messages down so you guys are all on the same page? Because one slip, one of those two ends could easily get back there.
Yeah, I mean, we have pretty good communication up front, and we have to continue working on our communication. And it'll be a task, but we just have to keep going.
When you saw the figure 438, and knowing that it's been 30 years since y'all had a game like that. What stuck out in your head as an offensive lineman? Like, what was your feeling when you heard that figure?
I mean, I didn't know that we rushed for 438 until I got on the bus. I was like, I think Jonathan Allen told me. I was like, holy crap! Like, that's a lot of yards. But you know, we just have to keep pressing. You can't let that go to your head.
Anything else, fellas?
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
The play your two tackles to this point this season, Cam and Jonah. You know, talk about those two guys and you know, just and again the challenge they're looking at this week.
You know, they're both outstanding athletes, and they do a really good job for us. And I mean, I think Jonah got SEC Offensive Lineman of the Week this week, and you know they both played very well this season. So, you know, really blessed to have them on our team.
Thanks, Bradley.
Thank you.